so serious. There's a tumor on your neck, and it's so big, it's actually growing, and it's lying on your right nerves. So if it's not being removed by then, you are going to have a stroke or paralyzed.
Pray for my wife. O diagnosed with cervical spine tumor ka di 30 tsa January 2023. I operated ka di 3 tsa February. Since then, the right hand and right leg had this function. The value of moromela healing daily for rehabilitation. Ba mo di shashila ka di 14. Hati was we happy skin like a
So immediately she went to hospital, they operated.
Yes, man of God.
Did they tell you we are operating your wife?
They said they will operate her because the tumor was so big, but they didn't
tumor
tell
where?
us at the back of her neck. And now utile on a fluty kamona aba kono go train, but it will cause an infection.
Oh my God.
And then during the week, I realized I could discover another lump on my left side.
God.
Look at the condition of her neck due to the problem of complicated posterior neck swelling, as well as weakness of upper and lower limbs, post-removal of posterior mass. She's also using a walking frame as well as a wheelchair. The man of God has ministered the healing waters. The man of God is using his foot as a point of contact to minister prayer into the life of the lady.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Watch how she continues to shake as the man of God ministers spirit prayer into her life. Look at how the right hand is shaking. Look at how both of her hands are shaking under the influence of the Holy Spirit. The man of God is using his knees, his body as a point of contact. Look at a reaction as the man of God continued to use himself as a point of contact. Watch how her right leg is moving. The man of God is using his back as a point of contact. Look at how she is rising from her wheelchair. The man of God is praying for the right side. People of God, look at her reaction. The man of God is praying for the right side of her body.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How are you
man of
feeling
God.
now? Who
I'm
needs alarm?
good.
What has been happening to your body now? During prayer.
I was tired, but I felt energy.
You felt energy.
Man of God is now removing the knee brace. The man of God is using his knee as a point of contact. Look at how the man of God is using his leg as a point of contact. Of how our leg continues to shake.
In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you. Holy Spirit, we thank you. In Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So you are free. Are you listening? Stand up. So you are free.
To God be the glory. She has been set free in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
People of God,
Thank
look
you,
at how
Jesus.
she is
My wife is
standing
free.
all
Thank
on
you,
her
Jesus.
own without the
Thank you,
aid
my
of a
wife is
walking
free.
frame.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Jesus Christ. So let her rest, and if it is, she must not walk fast. So the leg can gain strength. She see they damage everything in way of trying to operate her.
Okay.
She's
thank
free.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Let's give our Lord Jesus Christ a round of applause as we welcome them.
Good morning, church. My name is Mrs Lekutle. I'm 55 years old. Next to me is my slave queen, Mrs Lekutle. Jwale ka le bone mo screening, mme o na admitilwe ko hospitala, and then ke mo ba ile ba disa ba re o na le cervical spine tumor. And then ba decided ba ile go mo operator. Ba mo operatile ka di 3 February 2023. And then ha tswa theater a fihla ICU, ke a ile gore she's paralyzed on the right side from upper to the lower limb. Go ne go le bohloko. I remember ebile ke ipotsa ke rapela ke re ntate Modimo, mo e ke nna ke entseng sebe, but how ha ke tsebe. But anyone e ngamile ha bohloko jwale ke lo ba mme ntate ka tlung.
So thank you very much indeed. We hear how exactly this problem had affected your wife. And right now we just want to hear a few words coming from your wife.
Good morning, church. My name is Mrs Lekutle. The man next to me is my helpful husband, Tumor Lekutle. My testimony goes like this. I started getting sick after my brother's funeral in 2020. Then in 2021, I was admitted for major depression. Then it passed, I get well. Then September 2022, my headache started again. There was no pill that could help, no headache or any painkillers. It will just, for a second, then second, it start again. Then in November, I met my psychologist. Then she met with the psychiatrist. They decided to admit me for 15 days, I think, from the 3rd of November to the 18th of November. Then while I was on sick leave in December, my blood sugar level started to act up. They were so high. Then I had to be admitted again so that they can check my sugar level. Whilst I was in the hospital, they did the blood test. I was discharged. Then my doctor told me to come back on the 30th of January 2023. I went back to her on the 30th. Whilst I was with her, while she was examining me, I told her that my hands is tingling, and my hands was like, it was not straight, but it was like, and she kept on saying, put it straight. I tried to put it straight, but it was not straight. She then said, there should be something serious. Then on the 31st of January, she took me for CT scan, MRI. Then she came and told me, it's so serious. There's a tumor on your neck, and it's so big, it's actually growing, and it's lying on your right nerves. So if it's not being removed by then, you are going to have a stroke or paralyzed. I was confused, looking for answers, but nobody had the answer. I ended up agreeing because my husband was not here. I agreed with the doctor. Later, the family came. I told them, fortunately, she also came, explained to them what is happening. Yeah, then I was transferred from this hospital to go to the neurologist. Then the 3rd of February, operation was done.
Now share with us now, after the operation was done, what happened to you? What were you feeling when you woke up after that operation?
Okay, the first thing I wanted was my hand, my right hand, because I felt heavy on my chest, thinking that it's on my chest. Then my husband said, no, it's on the side. I said, no, man, this hand is here, I feel it here. And he said, try to lift it with air more. I couldn't even lift it. It couldn't move. Nothing moved. Then because I was tired, I really fell asleep again. Saturday morning, while I was in ICU, I saw the nurses coming to bath me, and I asked myself, can't I bath myself? Then the lady said, no. The doctor didn't tell you when you wake up you won't be able to use your right hand. I said, no. Nobody said anything to me. I wasn't explained. I just been told I'm going for an operation to remove the tumor. So I was still in shock. I told my husband when he comes that I can't even brush my teeth. The sister has to do it for myself. On the 9th of February, while I was at general ward by then, they took out the catheter because I was on catheters from the theater. On the 9th, they removed it. So late afternoon, it's about around to 7, I wanted to go to the loo. So they said, no, you can't go because you're no longer on the catheter. Try to move down from the bed so that I can stand on my legs. My first leg, it was right that touched the first part. I couldn't, because it was numb and jelly-like. I couldn't stand. Then he had to carry me back to the bed and call the nurses. So the nurses came, they carried me, because that time I was pressed, carried me to the loo, and I came back to bed. I was angry, frustrated, but I couldn't take it out because my husband was there with the kids. I couldn't do anything. I cried to my sleep when they left, asking myself, and I don't have answers. Doctor is not coming, I don't know. But the sister, before she gave me the pills, she said to me, you had a major operation and they were working on your nerves and what are your terms, those terms. Then it's highly impossible for you to work immediately. Then he gave me the sleeping tablet. I slept. I woke up the following morning. It was the 10th. Then I met the physiotherapist. Physiotherapist tried to wake me up, and she saw that I cannot stand. She put me back to bed. Then we walked whilst I was on bed. Then came the occupational therapist. She explained to me that I'll be moved from this hospital to another hospital. Where am I going to be taught to walk, to use my right hand again? So it was difficult when I arrived at step down. They call it step down. I was on my own in that room. You can imagine when you sleep alone in that situation that I was in. Again, it said it was a blessing. Okay, I'm going to have me time with God. I need to ask him what is exactly happening. Please answer me. They did try to help because I was seeing the occupational therapist and the physio every day, every morning and every afternoon. They did try to help, but the situation was still the same until I was discharged. I was still unable to work. I was on a wheelchair the whole time. I was moving from bed to the wheelchair, from wheelchair to the bed, being bathed, being brushed teeth, fed, I couldn't do anything, even after those 3 months in the hospital. After they removed the stitches while I was in step down, 2 days later, there was a small pimple, but it kept growing and growing. It was so huge and so heavy. I had headaches every day, morning, night. I won't hear them when I slept, but when I wake up, it's headache. That thing, it was so huge. It was heavy for my shoulders, for my neck, even my head.
Share with us your experience when the man of God was praying for you. What was happening to you during that time?
Really, I don't know what was happening because while I was sitting there, I had this fear. I was so fearful. I don't know what was I scared for, but there was a lot of fear. Then when he came, man of God, I really felt calm. I was calm, but I was shaking, but I cannot say what was really happening, but I was calm. I was shocked when he said I must stand up, say, hey. But he's the man of God, he knows. Let me stand for the very first time, to stand on my own from the wheelchair.
Let's clap for Jesus Christ. Let's clap for the miracle worker, Jesus Christ.
And I never went back to the chair with wheels. For the very first time after the operation, I went to the real chair without wheels.
Let us clap for Jesus Christ. Share with us the changes that you started to feel in your body when you were declared free. What was happening in your body after the prayer line?
The first thing was being able to sit on my own on the chair. This Sunday we came tired, but Monday I started walking from my bedroom to the kitchen, going out with the back door, coming around in the house, coming in with the front door.
Let's give our Lord Jesus Christ a round of applause. Let's clap for Master Jesus.
Then the lump was growing and painful. Then my husband, I remember he had to make an appointment with the doctor. Then the doctor wanted to see me. So we went to his offices. I was working. Remember the last time he saw me, I was not working. And he was like, I told you that you'll work. I said, you didn't even tell me that I won't work. So how do you tell me that I will work? So then he then said to me, oh, you are my miracle girl. I said, they told me my healing will take 18 months, 1 year, 6 months. But to glory of God, within 2 months I was able to walk.
So now, ma'am, share with us now. Do you say that now you had to go with the lump now? Now tell us, what did the doctor say about the lump? What happened to that?
Okay, he said he will have to operate it to open again where he was operated before to drain that into water. Indeed, he did drain, and I'm okay, no more pains, nothing on my head. I can do what I couldn't do before.
So now, for the glory of God, now we want to see, and we want to see how God Almighty has intervened in your life and brought healing. Ma'am would like for you to demonstrate the healing that you received. Just want you to please walk to the side. Without a walking frame, without any assistance, she's walking. See that she's walking for the glory of God. Let's clap for the Master Healer once again. Remember, people of God, that we're at the healing campaign. Let's clap for Jesus Christ once again. So right now, let us see live and direct how she looks like right now. Let's give our Lord Jesus Christ a round of applause. The bump is no longer there. Let's clap for Jesus Christ. Wow, ma'am, yes, indeed. We see that indeed God Almighty has done it for you. He has set you free. He has healed you, and you are now restored for the glory of God. What words of thanksgiving would you like to give to him?
Wow, we are serving a good, great God. When I came on that faithful day, in my heart I told myself that I'm going to the pool of Bethesda. And when they translate the Bethesda, they're saying it's a place of grace or a place of mercy. And I believed that is a place of mercy and a place of grace. Glory to God. Have faith in Jesus. He is a healer. Doctors, they just diagnose, and sometimes they misdiagnose. Let's fix our eyes on the one who died for us, because through his blood we are saved and healed. Amen.
Amen.